What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Hometown Advantage, where two hometown guys shine light on small town sports. This is Dominic Masimiano, teacher and head football coach at Rising Sun High School, and joining me as always is my co-host Shane Muller.
What's going on?
Former Rising Sun and Wesley College baseball player. This episode is brought to you by Cecil County's own Bird Dog Plumbing. They are expertly trained to handle all plumbing emergencies the same day you call. As a family-owned business with young kids themselves, they understand the importance of keeping your family on schedule. Upon calling, they'll quickly diagnose and solve any plumbing problems you have so you can make your child's practice that evening without worrying about any plumbing issues at home. They are licensed and bonded in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Give them a call today, and they are ready to spot your plumbing solutions with Bird Dog Precision. And as always, we think it's awesome you decided to join us. So if you like what you hear and you're joined here on, all five of you guys that are on live, what's up? If you like what you hear, be sure to share us with somebody that hasn't heard us before. Find us on Facebook, Instagram at hometown_advantage1. We're also on Spotify, Hometown Advantage, and we're also on YouTube, Hometown Advantage Podcasts. And be sure if you're listening, because we got a lot of people listening, not a lot of people following. We got a lot of people watching.
Listen, it takes about 5 seconds to make yourself a little account. Just make a quick account, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. Everything's going to help.
There's this red subscribe button that's right below the video. It just takes a click. It doesn't cost you a dime.
One click. No dime.
It doesn't cost you a dime.
No dimes, no pennies, nothing.
I mean, you want to throw us some, we'll take it, but you know. All right, so anyway, you know the deal. Just click something, share us. All right, so we are now tapping into another town in the county. And I keep saying every time we're getting out of the county, we're getting out of the town. Yeah. And today we have a true journeyman when it comes to coaching. Our guest has coached it all. He has coached basketball at Newark Charter, baseball and softball at Elkton High School, and soccer, basketball, and softball at Northeast High School.
Oof.
He graduated from Elkton High School, where he went on to play baseball at Cecil College, which led to Kutztown University, and most recently has been coaching soccer and softball at Northeast. And it is our pleasure to have on the show Matt Armour. What's going on, man?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Good, man.
How you doing, buddy?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man.
So, now we get Northeast in here. And we talked about maybe possibly next week getting Bow Manor, and we've covered the county. So, we're trying to get everybody, tap all the different markets, let you hear your coaches from your schools, and we've got Elkton, we've got a lot of Rising Sun, we got our Perryville in here, and now we got Northeast, so let's get it going.
Yes, sir.
So, we always like to start with, walking through your journey. Just let everybody know, if they don't know already about you, what sports did you play growing up? Where did that lead to you in the next level in high school? And you just walk us through it.
So, started off as a dandelion picker in the T-ball league.
There we go.
I think all of us at 4 years old are either, hitting those ground balls about 4 feet in front of the plate or, trying to figure out what time you can go home and throw your glove on the ground. So, had a love early on with baseball. Started at an early age of 4. Continued into high school, travel ball, played with Shane throughout probably 4 or 5 years throughout our
long time, man.
With Babe Ruth and
You're on the live.
Hey, let's go. Between Babe Ruth ball with the Cobras and then also travel ball as well, and then eventually staying local at Cecil College, and then heading up to Kutztown like you said. Soccer. Everybody was trying to get me to play football. I really wish I would have at times. I would have loved to have been like a Dwight Freeney, like a DN. I think I tried to do that in basketball.
Big guy that can move very well. You probably would have done well in football.
I appreciate it. And but my family's always been a soccer family, and my dad grew up playing basketball, and he never really played baseball because they don't think they had it at his high school. But he's been playing slow pitch softball since 18, so he's been playing for over 40 years now. So, and then basketball. I got that love from my dad as well. His senior year, so he went to Bow Manor. His senior year, they lost in triple overtime to go to Cole Fieldhouse in the state semi. I think it would have been the state semifinals. So, he's always been around that. My family's always been around sports. I've always loved sports. I always think, I've always loved competition. Always loved competing against people. So just grinding every day with that, and then obviously, us now at 30, 31 years old, like, just understanding the life lessons that come along with it, and
right.
Creating a family, or creating that culture of good things that you're going to learn for the rest of your life, no matter whether it's like patience or discipline, anything like that. So, but yeah, basketball for sure. I mean, is a big one. That was big. My dad helping me out with, because he, like I said, he always played, so he would always take us to the YMCA before games and stuff. I get up like 100 shots for
it's literally
our high school games. Like,
first thing I think about when I think about your dad is refing or doing the scoring table at the YMCA.
Dude, we used to ref all the time. It's like, by the end of the day, me and him were both like trying to get the whistles to like parents yelling at us and stuff. But,
yeah, YMCA ball got a little. I don't even remember much about it besides just being chaotic. Oh my
god, it's crazy. But I give my dad credit, man. He's, like I said, he'd be the first one to take me to the YMCA an hour before the game. But the first time I didn't box out somebody, he'd be the first one to get on me. And it's like, I learned a lot through that. It's like, good. Holding me accountable from early age. So good thing.
So did you and Nick all play the same sports, or did?
So Nick,
I know he was primarily on
Nick
basketball.
He only played basketball. Okay. He actually went out for football for one day. He wanted to be a tight end. Like
also another giant individual.
Yeah, you think I'm big?
Right.
Me times 1.5.
Yeah,
so.
He's massive.
No, so Nick only played basketball, but then he played baseball at a younger age when Brett Foskey and I don't know if you remember Stephen Wright from Rising Sun and those guys, and BJ Janney and all those guys. So, he used to play with them. And then just didn't like it as much. I mean, a lot of kids, I know you talked about, just not a lot of action in there.
Yeah.
You don't really, you kind of stop playing.
At his time, it was you just playing high school. Yeah.
So, we played basketball together, but he went out for football for one day. And like I said, he wanted to be a tight end. They're like, no, you're going to be on the O-line. And he's like, nah, I don't want to do this. I want to be a tight end. And it's now, looking at TV, college football, I'm like, Dude, you could have played for Alabama.
He's larger than everybody out
there. Alabama or some of these Texas, one of these big schools.
First round draft pick, a tackle.
6'6", 350 dude.
How big was he in high school? I think compared to now.
So he was 275 in 6'6", 275 in basketball season. Yeah. Now basketball, it's a lot more running and stuff. It's a lot more. It's a different kind of running and stuff. So. I mean, by the time he probably graduated in college, man, he could have been one of those dudes you're seeing on these health videos eating 4 steaks and stuff, and, from the Steelers, what you watch in school, gotta get 7,100 calories by lunchtime. Jeez.
I understand it because when we play pickup basketball,
dude, he's a beast.
Somehow I'm stuck on guarding him or you, and it's okay, cool. This is unmatched here.
I like guarding him because I know I'm
sure,
I'm only gonna be able to go half court, so is he.
You can work out a.
But then he pulls out those times he goes over half court and he just knocks down a 25-foot 3-pointer on me or does some kind of spin move. I'm
if you're getting tired, you can work out a deal with him.
And I'm trying to beef up against him. And he's like, nah, that's
I'm done.
Not even feeling it. Not even feeling it.
Oh boy. So you talked about going to Cecil, and Kutztown. So one's JUCO, one's is D2. Kutztown?
Kutztown's D2, so they're in the PSAC. So they're with Westchester, Millersville, schools like that, East Stroudsburg and all them.
So obviously there's big differences between Cecil and Kutztown, but what was the biggest change from when you were doing your Cecil time and then you went to Kutztown and were in a big D2 program?
I would say the biggest thing is developing overall as an athlete. When we were at Cecil, luckily I had Coach O'Brien in my circle and stuff, and he really helped me out a lot, and he really put me in a good spot of first year coming out of high school. I've always been a successful baseball player coming into my first year of college, and I go 2 for 4 in my first game at Del Tech, and I'm like, all right, things are going great, everything's just going to keep going. 0 for 22 my next 22 at bats, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm do I still want to be playing baseball at this point? This is it's been the hardest things. I've never had that much adversity hit me at one time.
Mm-hmm.
So dealing with that and JUCO, I think they're able to play a little bit more games, maybe 5 or 10 throughout the season. But it felt like, man, we had a game every single day, and it almost feels like a Major League Baseball season. once that first weekend starts, like, you have like 3 or 4 games in a season, and then the 1 or 2 practices might just be like, all right, outfielders come for an hour, infielders come for an hour, or it's like working on PFPs with pitchers, working on bullpen, stuff like that. And it's like, it's a grind, man. So it's like, if you're not playing, it's hard to like stay positive. It's hard to like, so I would do, everything possible to try to keep that positive mindset of, I'd be wearing like one of those like batting helmets that the coach is wearing, and I try to like do all the stuff like Coach O'Brien would do and just say like random words and stuff, and
whatever
just try to like hype up the teammates and stuff. But like at the end of the day, you leave and you're like, man, like I didn't get to play it all. Or I just filled in for my buddy because he was acting immature, so I played in the 9th inning at first base for a half an inning. It's like that's not fun, but it was that struggle you had to go through. So like. That was a tough thing for me, so learning through that, and then I redshirted my second year, and then I had a pretty strong season my third year, and then going into Kutztown, like, I didn't realize the work ethic I needed to put in until I got to Kutztown. Yeah. And I wish, now, like, looking back, like, I know everybody's like, man, I wish I would have done this in high school.
Sure.
I wish I would have been in the cages more at Cecil.
Yeah.
I wish I would have taken that more serious, because I always relied on, like, I'm a good hitter, I'm going to do this here and there and stuff. Like, I'll be fine. Like, no issues at all. Like, I'm going to figure it out again. Yeah. But it's like just, any sport, football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse, anything, like just working on those fundamentals, man, and just getting back to where you feel confident in going there. So, like,
it's a big jump, yeah.
So when I went to Kutztown, the biggest thing has always been for me, like, I've always been a big guy. So, like, I've always been pretty athletic for my size, but I've always, like, probably needed to be in better shape. So, like, when I went to Kutztown, man, like first, like, in the fall, like, 5 days we had, which this was, like I said, this is probably a major difference, is, like, we actually, like, worked out.
Sure, I was going to ask you, too, like, and you can explain it, well, like, because Shane's talked about his day at Wesley. Right. Like, if you, like, during this, like, what did your day and your season look like? Yeah.
So, like, so fall was, like, we didn't get up at, like, the 5 a.m.s and, like, some schools and stuff. But, like, we would have school, so, like, Kutztown was, like, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday classes. In the fall, you were only allowed to have, like, I think D2 was only, like, 30. I don't know what D3 was like. Where, like, Cecil, in the fall, you're starting that first week you get back. Yeah. And you're going 5-6 days a week. Yeah. Right. Till November. Yeah. And, like, that's a huge difference there because, like, that consistency is saying, like, the hitting-wise, you're getting swings every single day. You're getting reps and everything. But when you go to Kutztown, like, it's like 2 days of practice a week because you can only have like 34 between September 1st and whenever. And Kutztown's not very warm, so it gets cold pretty early. So, like, you can only really have like outside like 30 practices. Okay. Kind of the same thing when I was at Wilmington as well when I was just redshirting there. But the off-season stuff for sure, like the lifting and stuff, we would do on Mondays was like time mile. Obviously not my favorite because I knew I was going to finish last. I've never been strong at, running, distance. Like, I've always been good at sprints. Like, that's always where I've competed, with other people with my size. People are always like, this guy's going to be slow. And then all of a sudden they're like, holy crap, who's that bear just running down there? Like, that's 60, like, baseball was always 60s. It's like, man, that guy's pretty quick for his size. Right. So I was always good in, like, short sprints, but, like, overall, I was like, man, I know I'm going to be last, on my time mile. And, like, my first time mile, I don't even think my coach told me what my time was. It was just like, yeah, you're last. Not very good.
Slow.
Tuesdays and Fridays were CrossFit. So we were working out with the rugby coach up there.
Terrible.
So yeah, that was pretty tough. So we had, like, our warm-ups would always be like a half-mile run, and you had to do it in like 4 minutes, I think, or something. Or like a quarter-mile run, you had to do it in like 2 minutes or something. And it was just going around the neighborhood of Kutztown. So, like, we were passing, like, the baseball house, passing, like, the gas station and stuff.
Behind the house.
I'm like, hey, where's the...
We're out of sight.
Yeah, where's shortcuts here? But, like, one at a time, man, like, I wasn't very good at, like, staying hydrated and stuff and, like, drinking all the time. Baseball, like I said, not really moving a lot. Like, you can get away with that stuff. Right. Where, like, football, basketball, like, you got to be drinking all the time. Soccer, you got to be drinking all the time. And so I came back to one time. I think it was like after we did a workout and we had to do it again. I like passed out, dude, like right in front of like the facility. I'm just like, I had a Jesus moment. And I'm like,
drink water.
I'm like, can you wake me up? I was like, what's going on here? So I think that's the biggest difference. Just like the more you grow, I think divisions, and I'm not saying that Wesley didn't have like a big like weight room or anything like that, or like
not a big physical weight room. No.
But I mean like a weightlifting program.
We went hard, yeah.
But I mean like it was probably still different than Alabama. Sure. I would say. You know what I mean? Like every single division you're going up, you got more coaches, you got more trainers, you got more staff, and
way more
so
depth.
You can do everything more. You know, like those Alabama guys, they got like 20 tutors for the whole team and stuff. So it's like
right.
Just like, their art class. Football is the life, and it's like unfortunately like education's a side piece. Like,
right.
Shout out Coach Strass. He said education first, football second.
I mean that's how
took me a little bit. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't understand.
So I mean I try to preach that though, like understanding these, like telling these kids in high school like they're student athletes. So
yeah. Right. Also, what you're gonna get into,
yeah.
So I would just say like more like. Because like JUCO you can practice more, but like I feel like Division II, like there's more like serious stuff of like needing to do this, like there's deadlines and like all that
schedule,
stuff. Yeah.
Well, I really like too that you brought up like the adversity thing, because like that's what we try to make a point of always preaching. Like you, me, Tyler, and all those guys, like we were the top players in the county at the time, right? So like. You know, I'm sure like me, you probably also had it in your mindset, like I'm gonna go start every game. You know, like I'm really good at this level. I'll be just as good at that level too.
Yep.
And then you get there and like you said, you know, you play a half inning or whatever. I think my first year at Wesley, we played 45 games. I played 1 inning the whole season.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
So it's like that's a pretty stacked squad,
right? But it's like
that's how it always is, though.
Yeah, and it's like you just have to like come to realization, like okay, this is what it is, and you just got to keep.
Especially when you're not used to failing, and all of a sudden it's like you're not. You only play 1 inning, so you're not really failing, but you're failing of not getting time.
Yeah, right. In your mind, you're failing. Yeah.
Not because you're bad. It's just because there's 30 guys like you. Then it's just like who's that coach feel. Most confident with that day and stuff.
I played tight end in high school, and then moving to top 5 program, it's like you get in your tight end line, you're like looking up there, and you're like 6'4", 6'3", and I was like, and then I made my way up to junior year. Then I turn around, oh, there's Kyle George, Rutgers commit that moved to Wesley. I'm like, all right, there goes my playing time.
Right. You just have to you just have to accept it for what it is. I mean, like for I don't even know how long. For several years I probably only ever sat 20 innings, and that was probably because of injuries. You know, like and I'm sure same with you. Like we never sat. Like every game it was the same. Same 9
really
people.
Sat much honestly, probably since like Little League days, like when I was 12. Right. We got that extra 13 year. And I got to play in it, and it's like ever since then, like I was ended up being like one of the top players for where I was playing.
Yeah, so you have to when you get to that next level and it's your time to sit the bench, you have to figure out how to mentally climb over that hill and just keep, like you said, just like keep doing the things, keep practicing, keep yourself involved as much as you can, because you'll get your shot eventually. Yeah. You just have to keep.
And I will say, it's big, like getting to play under. Coach Jim Lakeb, who's now the principal at Elkton, was the athletic director and teacher at Elkton when I played. He was my baseball coach all 4 years. And, he came from Elkton as well, a little small town.
Where did he play?
I ended up playing at Penn State.
Penn State,
yeah. And it was kind of cool because, he was on that one, the last, NCAA baseball video game.
Nice.
And he was in there. It's 86 overall. I was like,
that's good.
Cool. Wow. And then when you strike out, I'd be like, dude, you stink. Why are you striking out? But he, he really preached to me early. He was like, listen, he's like, I know you're, he's like, you're a great player. He's like, you're doing very successful right now. He's like, but you're a little fish in a big pond.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you have a lot of good things.
You're a big fish in a little pond.
Yeah.
But when you go on to the next level, even at Cecil, that's still, only 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from you. Yeah. You're a little fish in a big pond. There's 30 other guys
fish
on
in the
your
ocean,
team.
Cecil is stacked. I mean, they're always stacked. They recruit insane.
So the year I went to Cecil was was after the year they went to the World Series.
Right.
And you know when like a school goes to the World Series, anytime a school's been successful, a lot of people want to play there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we had great. You know, we had 3 good years right after that, 3-4 good years right after that. And dude, I played with my one buddy, Josh Hampton. Man, absolute monster. Came from Avon Grove, broke the JUCO record, had 40 doubles in the season.
Oof.
On top of like 17 home runs,
Yeah.
and hitting like 452 or something.
That's pretty good.
Like
As
insane.
a
And I'm
freshman
just like,
coming in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Where'd
I'm
he
like,
go? Where'd he transfer to?
He ended up going to Wilmington.
Okay.
So he never, didn't have the grades and stuff.
Right.
You know, it was good. But, dude, man, he was a hard-nosed, tough player. But, just like watching him and like kind of taking that in, and it was kind of cool seeing.
And like when you were at that like height at Cecil, like were you guys traveling a lot to go play teams, or was it just still like the Hartford Community College, the local like?
No, so like when we played, so there was like anything like up back. There's out of conference games and conference games. Obviously for us, we only get like maybe for football you probably maybe get one out of conference game or whatever. So like we would play like our Hartford Community Colleges, Hagerstown, which was still 3 hours away. Your Fredericks 2 hours away. Your Catonsville, your Essexes, and all them. So like they were on the Maryland JUCO conference, and then we would go play teams like the first couple weekends. At least my last year, we went to South Carolina twice, like back-to-back weekends.
Nice.
So that was kind of cool, and like
That's
we
awesome.
played like a lot of the JUCOs down there, and like we were able to see like school Francis Marion that one of my buddies, Georgie Santek, ended up going to. Dude, beautiful stadium, like D2, and it's like, dude, like that would be cool, like playing in those like stadiums and stuff, and like just playing like different teams though, like guys from like Pittsburgh and guys from South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. All those southern schools, Georgia, there was a couple and stuff. So, like, just playing different competition, kind of like same thing you want to see, like, when you scrimmage, like, for us. Because you're tired of seeing Falston every single time. You're tired of seeing Elkton, Northeast. Tired of seeing the same people all the time. You want to see some new competition. See how your players evolve against them. See how they do against them.
Yeah, I mean, if you get smacked, you get smacked.
Exactly. And you say, like, hey, you want to get to that level, we got to do better.
Something
so,
different.
it was cool playing against, a lot of those guys. And, that last year... had a really good start to the season, and I was down some adversity as well, like down in the 8th spot, and I was like, man, I think I'm one of the top hitters. And I just, I grinded that weekend. I did everything I could and ended up getting to the 4th spot and ended up staying there like the rest of the season. So
I was only asking about the teams because like when we were at Wesley and we got pretty much kicked out of the conference for winning it too much, then we went independent, and it was like teams didn't want to play us, so
So it wasn't like a Notre Dame type thing where how they're independent because they want to play whoever they want to play.
Yeah, so we were independent. Like the way they put it was like it was kind of like time for a shift in that conference.
Yeah.
We were in the oh man, I don't even.
The CAC? Was it the CAC?
It was.
That's what we were in baseball.
Frostburg,
Yeah,
but like,
the CAC.
then we went independent, then we went NJAC. But when we were independent, it was like I know they struggled to find teams. But the cool part about it was, my junior year we went to California, we went to Texas, we went to Louisiana on a 17-hour bus trip, and then like we flew somewhere else and like got to tour Stanford while we were out. It was cool.
Yeah, so we didn't get to do like that. Ours was like I said, South Carolina was probably the farthest, but like.
Well, if you ask anybody else at Wesley, they didn't want us to do it either because our AD was the football coach. The school was quite mad. We took 4 flights in 1 year as a D3 school.
Yeah, we went out to West Virginia a couple times, to Virginia,
Yeah, it's still cool to, as like a JUCO kid from Cecil County, get to go to all these different sports and all these different states. So,
we did spring training, I think, sophomore year down in Florida, and we played at...
oh, really?
Yeah, and we played, not the Gator Stadium, what's the other...
Miami?
Florida State, Seminole?
Not the Seminoles. They have, like, the Texans logo.
Florida Gulf Coast?
I can't remember. I'll pull it up. But anyways, it was a huge stadium, big like D1 stadium, so that was pretty cool.
Texas logo.
Texans logo.
Texans logo. Oh.
Houston Texans.
Played the Houston
Bingo.
Texans?
I'll figure it out.
All right, anyway.
I'll figure it out. Give me a second.
FIU.
You're gonna know exactly who it is when I say it, but you go ahead. I know it's like right in front of my face.
Out of there.
Get out of here, fly.
All right, so getting out of your playing career, and you gave us a nice insight to that, which we appreciate. This is you can you can veto this question if you want, but you've coached 4 different sports thus far in your coaching career. What's been your favorite sport that you've coached and why?
So I'm not going to veto, but I
don't want you to your other players be like, oh, we weren't your favorite, but
nah, I'm not worried about that. I would say soccer's probably my least favorite, and it's not because I don't like soccer. It's just because I didn't feel like I can make as big of an impact as a coach.
Sure.
Like, I could play it when I was there. I was athletic enough. But
that's a lot of putting it out there and let them do that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's more of like a bigger basketball field, like just like, trying to get to the middle and make like opposite side pass, like getting the triangles and stuff and making through passes and everything and like give and goes and stuff. So I wish like I didn't like put those together like until like too late in time when I like now I'm like, okay, now I'm not gonna coach soccer anymore. But basketball for sure is one of my most favorite to coach. Just because I feel like you got to grind every single second, and like
never stops.
Football, very tough sport, but like you're only playing defense or you're playing off. Now, obviously, if you're a stud in high school, you might play two-way positions. I know Mike talked about the whole
two platoon
thing, whatever. But like in basketball, like you don't have to be a great offensive player.
Yeah,
and you might not get exposed.
Right.
But if you can't play defense, you're going to get exposed every time. Whether you're a big guy or guard, whatever, they're going to attack you, drive it to you, and they're going to make you foul.
Yeah.
Or if you're a big guy, they're just going to try to push you up every single time. So, like, basketball I love because it's like a grind. It's like there's so much passion, so much energy in it, and, like, you just got to be ready for the moment every single second. Yeah. And it's like, you give up a layup, it's like, okay, like, frustrated, but it's like, all right, now move on to the next play.
Yeah, it never stops,
So, like, love that part of it, and, like, basketball, I think I love coaching a lot because baseball always came more natural to me, and I think I didn't have to put in as much work, which probably cost me a little bit down the road because I didn't put in that work that maybe I needed to. Where with basketball, like I always say I was like the white Dennis Rodman. Like I always tried to get like rebounds, assists, like do the dirty work, do the little things. Like I didn't care about scoring. I played
Carmen Electra. Going crazy.
I wish. Didn't go that far. Did date a girl named Carmen.
Hey, Carmen.
But playing at Elkton, we had a lot of scorers. So, I didn't mind feeding them the ball. And I didn't really care about stats. And, I know stats are great. And it's, cool to have, that legacy of, if you get elected to, a Hall of Fame or something. Or, making a 1,000-point club is, huge in high school. Yeah. Or something like that, or even 1,000 rebound club, which is it's hard to.
I mean, with your team, a 1,000-point club would be a pretty good feat, with as many scorers and athletes you had. Yeah.
So having that kind of stuff is cool, but for me, man, all I wanted to do was win. So I think that's why I am the coach that I am and stuff. So with baseball, I can be passionate and everything, but it's just not the same passion that it is for basketball because baseball, it's I don't want to be screaming at my girls or screaming at my boys they're playing baseball or screaming at the girls playing softball.
They gotta
every
relax,
single second because I know how I was in baseball. I didn't like being yelled at all the time. I needed to be relaxed and stuff. And then maybe come talk to her you can yell at me when the bat's over, but don't yell at me when the bat. And I think I did a really good job of that. Kind of letting us have our bat and then kind of talking us through what
you kind of have to, or you're
exactly.
You're just
it's a mental sport. It's like golf.
You're focusing on a ball coming
yell at Tiger Woods while he's trying to hit
right.
So, like I said, baseball and basketball definitely, I would say tied for first just because they have such great things that you can do differently. Mm-hmm. And like I said, basketball, there's so much passion, so much excitement, all at once. Where with baseball, man, there's nothing like hitting a home run or, there's nothing like going out there and trying to strike out a guy or throwing no hit or whatever, or making that diving play, standing up, or seeing your teammate do that and making that play and just be let's go and flexing. So it's just but you got to have the passion for it. So it's if you don't, then it's going to be tough to coach.
Right. And the other 95% of baseball is just standing around. So
exactly. So it's
easy, dude.
That's why you don't have to be an athlete to play. No, I was kidding. I suck at baseball.
Dude, it's 93%.
Oh, sorry. So to your point about basketball, I coached 2 middle school basketball
also
games.
Guaranteed money in baseball.
Yeah, true. The contracts are great there. I still won't be pushing Roman that way, but like I coached 2 middle school basketball games for old Huffster when I was at Northeast,
Dave
and
Huff.
he
Good
was
guy.
away on vacation, and I was like, dude, I had no idea. He's like, just run this play against zone, run this play against man, but it's fun because every single second you're shouting somebody a crosser out, you're shouting this out, like it's just like, and it's like you see the coaches that sit down, and I'm like, man, they're just confident with their players. I stood up the whole time. I was pacing back in my box in the middle school gym.
Confident,
Yeah.
like, just like, I
and
don't
like,
even care.
I'm like football coaching out there, and
Yes.
afterwards I'm like, oh, I'm like, Huff might hear something like about the parents, like, hey, maybe don't have him coach again.
That's why, like.
But it's so much action.
Yes, and like I coached, like I said, talked about. I coached this year for boys basketball. I took over for Seth Grimes. He stepped down for the year, and I would love it when we were on defense on our side.
Yeah.
So like first half was great for us because I got to be involved in the defense. I was like, hey,
You're calling
coming
everything
through,
out,
baseline. Hey, passing up there, hands up, like talking while I'm like looking at my like group of boys, and they're just like kind of like watching, sitting there. I'm like, hey, get in there, get in with me, like,
and maybe like,
and I'm trying to show them the way, like, hey, this is
right, and maybe you don't have to say that stuff, but it's just nature as a player, because like even when we play pickup, it's like calling out screens, calling out cross, like we're just playing pickup basketball, but it's like just in your nature as like
it's just like instinct,
yeah,
like,
just like if you play basketball, right? It's just
cutter.
Yeah, and the guys out there might not hear a word you're saying, but it's like, yeah, you're gonna call it so you see it when they come back to the bench and you can talk about it. If you're just watching and spectating, and they come back and they're like, all right, good, we're listening for a coach's call, and it's like, okay, we'll just run this play. So you gotta say
like
so
second
involved.
half, they're like playing defense. I'm like, cutter, like middle. I'm like, they can't hear me.
I know.
It probably goes by so fast when you're coaching basketball games.
I mean,
It depends.
Don't look at me because I coached 2 middle school basketball games where the Northeast team in middle school was like Kiefer and England and Flogger. It was just like I was just like, just go do your thing, man. I was literally at, like, my biggest coaching point was at the end. Stop! No! I was like, they're stealing every ball and we're up 70, and I'm like, oh my god, like Huff's gonna kill me. We're just
let me coach 2 games and we get fired.
And I'm like, no, dribble it out. But I'm like, what am I gonna tell a middle school kid to not take the steal and go make a layup? And I'm like, man, we are disrespecting this team right now. But it's so much action, man. It's fun. Not that I'm gonna get back into it, but it's fun.
You could always ref at the YMCA.
No.
By the way, it was the South Florida Bulls.
South Florida Bulls. South Florida, yeah, the green team. Yeah. Their football team made it to the playoff, or was in contention.
Yeah, they
Playoffs a couple years ago.
They had a really nice baseball stadium.
Nice. Well, they're D1, so I hope so. Yeah.
So it was cool.
Even when we went to William Patterson, do you guys play William Patterson? Their baseball field was freaking immaculate. Well, they won a bunch of national championships, but they had the turf.
I feel like we did play
and
William Patterson.
Their football field sucked, but their baseball field was awesome.
Man.
Did you guys hear about that? The D3 team that the school closed.
Oh yeah,
We played
they made it to
South
the World
Birmingham something.
Birmingham, yeah,
Birmingham Southern. That's who we
Birmingham
traveled.
Southern, yeah.
That's who we traveled to Louisiana to play, or I guess or Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, we traveled by bus to Alabama to play Birmingham Southern. It was awesome.
They got in by like hitting a walk-off grand slam, right? Or something like that.
School doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Shout out Wesley
Like they're
College.
playing past their college existence. Like how crazy?
Are they still
is that?
playing?
That's pretty wild.
Nah, they finally-
got eliminated.
They lost to Wisconsin Whitewater, I think they said.
Yeah.
Purple
Off
Powers,
a walk
baby.
off. It was like
Purple Powers. Well, that sucks. Wisconsin Whitewater strikes again.
cool.
You know what else is really weird? Just a quick side note. Wisconsin Whitewater is also really good. They have a top tier college fishing team.
Of course. Of course.
I just want to put that out there.
I mean, their football team, I wouldn't say has gone down, but we talked about this before, like, because there's like Wisconsin Oshkosh, Wisconsin Platteville, Wisconsin La something.
Is it kind of like a Penn State or whatever?
Pretty much like Harrisburg and stuff, but like
Right.
the athletes started spreading out and their football team started competing with each other instead of Whitewater just walking through everybody every year. But anyway, so, talking about you coaching a variety of sports, this is probably a deep question, but like, do you typically change your style of coaching like between sports? Like you said this year you went from soccer to basketball to softball. Like, has there any been like super philosophy changes when you're doing that, or typically the same coach?
I mean, yeah, I think you have to just how you're approaching the game or how you're in the game and stuff. Like I said, with basketball, for me, I'm always going to be a passionate coach. I'm always going to have the energy. I'm always going to probably care more than the kids care, just because that's just who I am.
Same.
And it's just like I said, I hate losing so much. So like I hate that more than I like winning. And so like I try to get in these kids like so much like I said, for basketball, I'm like hardcore, like I'm sweating out there, like trying to get them like motivate them, which is another topic. Jesus, trying to motivate kids nowadays.
Right.
And but then like softball, like you really hype when they hit a double or something, or they have that great at bat where they go 7, 8, 9 pitches and they get a walk, or they get a nice line drive, to the opposite side or something, and they make that adjustment. And you get real hyped then, but it's like after that, it's like, okay, calm back down.
Yeah.
Or it's like basketball or football, like you're probably just like hype all the time.
Just riding that intensity.
And then like, if are you offense coordinator, defense coordinator?
Offense, yeah.
So like defense is like your time to be like, okay, let me check on some things real quick. Let me talk to
then
people.
I still get sucked
You're
right
still
back
in the game and stuff. You're still, you see something, you're still passionate about it. But it's like when it's your turn, like when the offense on there, like you are locked in, you're ready to go, and like you're doing the best you can and everything. So it is different with those two sports. Like, and even with soccer, it's like I was more laid back because, like I said, I didn't know as much coaching wise. Like a lot of these kids have had higher training that I have even seen and stuff. So like I'm not going to really tell them what to do. Where with like basketball, like a lot of the kids don't know the fundamentals. So like I can get in, like I can challenge them in practice and stuff, and I can go up against them, play defense against them, or go in offense against them, kind of show them the ways and show them the work that I'm putting in, even for just like a little tiny detail. So
I mean, I could see it. Like I'm just thinking if I was going like switching back.
I don't think my mindset changes, but I think of how you coach in certain situations definitely changes.
I think the answer is kind of it has to be though.
Yeah.
Like because like you said in baseball, like you have to be that even keel guy. Like a guy's going through a slump. You said you're going 0 for 22. You do not want to come off and be like getting berated.
And even in basketball, like we don't always have the best athletes in Cecil County for like basketball players. Like Elkton's always been pretty solid. Northeast was solid back in the day. Not trying to disrespect Rising Sun, but I'm not sure if like Rising Sun's ever had like a great.
Our freshman year, we went 8 games over 500. They were pretty solid. Yeah.
Awesome. So like,
and then not since.
But like even like so those and that team as well. Like that coach, when that top player or one of your top 3 guys is struggling, you can hound them all day, and like maybe that could help them
if it's the right kid.
It could hurt them, man. But it's like. Maybe just they're a 3-point shooter and they just missed 4 in a row. Like, hey, nobody's better than you, dude. Like when you take a little break here, get a little water. When you go back out, you get that open shot, you take it in. Don't hesitate.
Right.
Don't think about it. So like, you can still I have
to. Yeah.
I have changed so much since my first time I coached with Steve Smith when I was assistant baseball coach. I coached with Alan Foskey, Northeast basketball. I mean, I was like Bobby Knight every single sport. Like I was crazy. And I'm like, so I've had to change so much. I mean, especially with mental health and all that stuff. Like, I've learned to like, okay, like I didn't like that baseball. I didn't like being yelled at every single second.
Right.
Let me bring them over to the side. Let me like, hey, this is what you need to do. What were you seeing in that situation? Like, what made you take that pitch, or what made you shoot that shot? Did you not see that person open in the middle? Where that's that's going to be our main attack point. That's what we're looking for, and just like those little details. Like, are you just going out there and just swinging the bat, or just shooting the ball, or do you have a mindset of there's something? If I see the defense do this, then I'm going to do that. If I see the defense do that, then I'm going to adjust to this.
And like you talked about with being able to like having to motivate kids, like that's a serious problem.
Yeah.
But like also, if I'm coaching both of you, like you might be the guy that's like, dude, get on me because that's the only way I can feel like. And then Shane's like, you get on Shane, and it's like, your head like shut down.
Yeah, I'm scared.
And like, unfortunately, like.
Yeah, some kids want you in their face.
And like you have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you.
And that's where it's big, like getting to know your players and stuff.
That's as good for like us being teachers too. I've talked about that multiple times about being able to differentiate your coaching as well.
Yep.
But like, as coaches, we wish we had our whole team of get on them and they respond back.
They listen to everything that we say.
Right. And even if you're
that's a perfect world.
Even if you're going at them hard and they're like, yes, coach, yes, coach, yes, coach. I just remember like a video of like some dude getting cussed out on the sideline in like a D1 program. It was like some Instagram video, and the guy's just like locked eye contact, like, and then just walks away. No like helmet slam, no like he needed that, but like that's unfortunately not what we get. So
And I think sometimes as a coach, you need to like reflect on like what happened, like after the game, and like.
I do that every practice.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. I mean, I'm the same way as well. Sometimes I don't do it as much until somebody says something to me, because I'm like, no, like
it's fine.
I know I was in the right, and it's like, just take a step back for a second.
Right.
So just like reflecting on seeing like, how could I have done something different? Like, yes, I could yell at that player that just made an error at shortstop or second base or third base or wherever, like the pitcher, that just. Easy play and they make an error. Yeah, you can get on them, or you can use it as a teaching moment and be like, talk to them and be like, hey, listen, you're good. Yeah. Like, you're human, you're going to make mistakes.
Right.
And, how you build off of that is going to be even better.
That's probably where it comes in to have like a good coaching staff as well, because like you said, like you might be so in the moment or whatever, and after the game's over, like in your head you thought, you were reacting the right way or, talking to this person the right way or whatever, and when all reality you probably weren't. But if you have a good coaching staff, like, maybe they could step in and tell you, like, hey, like, this so-and-so player, like...
You gotta have a good mix.
Right, like, they respond better if you do this, and this game you didn't do that. And you're like, oh, okay, and,
And I think, too, like, I'm just going to, like, kind of counter on what you're saying. A good coaching staff, I know we talked about it before, doesn't mean that, like, Ethan Klein didn't play college baseball.
Right.
Does not mean he's not a good coach.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, you have to get, and I know you probably know this as well, when you get coaches that help you out, you have to get coaches that have the same mindset as you.
Right.
You have to get coaches that have that same passion, that care for those kids just as much as you do.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then that's when things start getting awkward, things start getting weird, like, you start saying stuff, and this person is saying this and all that, and it's like, it just doesn't mix well. And, like, I've been lucky enough to have that, where with, like, soccer, did you ever work with David Hamilton? Scottish?
Oh, yeah, he was the guy that replaced me at Northeast.
Yeah. Oh, okay, he replaced you.
Yeah.
So PE teacher replaced him. Real good dude.
Yeah.
Knows a lot about soccer. Has been coaching for like over 20 years. Knows his stuff. Real cool guy. And like
football to him.
Yeah, exactly. Scottish dude. Like we've got along really well. And like that was the reason that I came back, because our chemistry was so good. Like we had the same mindset. He knew that I didn't know the game as well as him, but he knew that I cared and I was as passionate as I was and all that. Where basketball, like I work with Dave Menser. My buddy Sagar, do you remember Sagar have you ever played with him on Sundays, basketball?
What's his first name?
Sagar.
Oh, no.
He's an Indian guy. So,
no, I don't think I have, no.
So, he didn't play basketball in high school, but, like, plays all the time, like, pick up all the time, goes and plays in the city and stuff, and, like, play anytime he can play. Like, he plays on Sundays, even though I'm not there, and I'm the one that got him in there.
Yeah.
But, he doesn't know the game, like, in and out like me and Dave did.
Right.
But... he challenges the players on a different level of like mindset. Like, what are you thinking? Like, and being like thinking outside the box of like, even think about like, what do you want for your future?
Right.
What are you going to do for that? And then with softball, man, I have 4 coaches that have the same exact mindset with me. I have Stewie, who's over at Elkton right now, Megan Clark, Sam Snyder, and then Nick Letts, who's coached for 30 years at college level and high school level, man. And they're just grinders. They love the game. And they want to make kids better every single day, but they also know the accountability piece, and they want to, like, they understand that there needs to be fun, but there also needs to be times where you lock in, and it's like, hey, like, we all care about the same thing. We all want to win.
Right.
We got to do the things, we got to do the little things to get us better.
Yeah, it's like football, that's a fine line, too, because you get football coaches in there that have just, like, coached college or just played college, and they've only seen, like, if I came right from Coach Strass at Wesley and did everything he did, I'd be fired by now. Like, he was just so intense, and high school kids wouldn't take it like that. And then I'm the only, like, it doesn't happen a lot, but I'm the only teacher in our school. Everybody else works a different job outside of school. But thankfully, like, all my coaching staff as well, like, buys into the players, talks to the players every day. Like you said, like, you need to have that. Because it would just be Coach Muller showing up every day yelling at me. Right. Then he leaves, and I never see him till tomorrow.
Right.
Where it's different for me because I got to see the kids all day, so it's like I got to have that different relationship every single day.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean that's a great
now,
point.
the coaches that you have on your staff are those like guys that you've known from before, or just like meeting through like interviews and stuff like that, and then
you got
just
Nate
learn.
McCullough. Nate McCullough. He played at Rising Sun, but he plays pickup. I don't think he's ever played pickup with us at Elkton. Young guy.
I feel like I saw him. I know who he is.
Yeah, he plays like pickup, like the church league softball and stuff like that. I don't know if you're into that, but and then we got Wes Johnson, who actually was my coach when I played and coached with Vaughn, came back with Vaughn, and then stayed on with me. And then like.
That's kind of cool, like a little full cycle.
Yeah, like Lance Newby, who coaches with the girls basketball team. He's the man. Varsity wise, we picked up like Coach Chris Nesbitt, who's Wes's buddy, played at Shepherd. Great, genuine dude's got a kid coming up through high school now.
Awesome.
And then we picked up Brett DeMond.
I know Brett.
You know Brett.
Yeah.
So we picked him up this year, and like he's been working with the junior program and junior wrestling. So he's already had the coaching background with the little kids. So I think that almost is going to help more than coming straight from college to high school, because he's like probably babied some little kids in football and now can translate that to some older kids. So yeah, like the staff is all people that I've known minus Chris, but he's been a freaking awesome addition.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, gotta have the good staff,
and it probably makes your days easier, man. Every
yes,
day, just
100%.
like having those guys.
Especially last year when I was going through all my crap and I'm missing practices and missing like just knowing like I'm not going to be there and I'm not going to be there a lot this summer. It's like it eats me up because I have zero control and I want all the control, but it's like I know they'll be fine. Like so that also helps
you got
too.
guys that you can trust and stuff that are going to keep doing the same thing day in, day out.
Shane's learning a lot from when he starts coaching here next year.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's like a couple of the points that you brought up. Like, that's why we were so successful in like our travel ball and like Babe Ruth and Legion and all that. It's because like Coach Scott and like my dad and stuff, like they all had the same mindset. Like they wanted us to, do the best we could, always wanted us to win and stuff. But like they knew how to handle every single one of us because we've been playing with those two guys for literally our entire lives. It's like. So,
and I feel like too with that, like even though we played on like different high schools, like you went to Rising Sun, I went to Elkton, both played on the Cobras and stuff, but like even though like we were friends on the field, off the field, like during those games, man, we wanted to beat each other so bad, and it's like
that doesn't happen anymore.
But like, and you have those chemistry where it's like, okay, Little League was over, boom, right into travel, and it's like we're connecting right again, and it's like, all right, we're cool, we're hanging out. Yeah. Now, dude, there's so many like travel teams, there's so many other things. It's you have cliques of like
social media too.
Yes, man.
Dude,
and it's a selfish mentality, and I love. Kathy brought up Gino Ariema. Man, I love watching his speeches, and I love because the stuff he says, man, is true. It's like it's a selfish world. A lot of kids only care about themselves, and it's like sometimes you gotta really dig deep and like really look like seeing what's going on in like the real world, not just like what's about you, like being a good teammate, like all those things like help you out in life.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot. They don't understand it until I talk to a couple kids coming back. They're like, man, and I talked to one kid at graduation last week, and he's like, I really went hard in the weight room, but I really wish I would have just kind of balled in a little bit more. And he's like, but now I'm good. I'm straight. He's like, I went through some stuff. He's like, and I was like, I told you so. Right? But, they don't want to listen to it. And talking about wanting to kill each other on like football just brings up a funny story from 2 years ago. I'm literally like, where's this player? Like having a catch with the opposite team behind the field house. Oh my God. Like, before you're about to go to absolute war in the most violent sport possible, you're having a catch with them? Like, dude, social media.
What are you
doing?
Like,
because they know each other from everything. Yeah. Like, you knew of each other because you played each other and then you had the travel stuff. But, like, now you know what this kid's every move is. Yep. And it's like, oh, what's up, dude? And it's like, all right. And then take the field and you still want to kill him. But I'm like, I looked at these kids and I was like, that guy wants to like take your head off. And why are we even looking at that kid? I can't even look at the high school kids, and I'm a grown adult. I'm like, nope, you're my enemy today. I know who you are. I taught you.
I don't care if you're my little kid.
Yeah, especially when it's Northeast and like, Mr. M. It's like pregame, hey, and then it's like, we're done.
That's it. Don't talk to me.
Don't look at me. All right, let me take a little second to shout out one of our first mid-show sponsors. We've got two today. And so, listen, Matt, are you tired of your old worn-out mailbox at the end of your driveway?
I think so, man.
Yeah, well, you're gonna want to give this guy a shout out here. And so our episode is brought to you by newest sponsor. Well, not new now. I got to change that. But Susquehanna Mailbox Company, proudly serving the local community. Susquehanna Mailbox specializes in top quality mailbox installations. Whether you want to enhance your curb appeal or just need something a little bit more secure for that mail, they've got you covered. Check them out on Instagram, Facebook, or at SusquehannaMailbox.com. Your hometown mailbox experts.
And that's Javin Taylor.
That's
That is Javin, man.
Yeah.
You know Javin.
Yeah, we play basketball with him.
Jav's a good guy,
And
man.
you want this? Is he how younger?
So
than
he's in Kurt's grade, so he's 2 years younger than me.
you? Okay. So you guys
Yeah.
went to school together.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
move
Jav's a
on
good
here.
dude, man.
Let's move on. Let's ask one more question here, and then we'll get to our trivia section here.
Okay. Can't wait to go for 3.
Because I don't make them easy, baby.
I know you don't.
So listen, you kind of already hinted on this one, so this is like maybe an easier question. But you talked about your high energy. When I think Matt Armour, I think like of you just as a high energy. I don't want to say like goofy, but like you're always like just in like a friendly mood. When we play basketball, you're just spouting out stuff, like running up and down the court, saying whatever.
13-year-old kid and a 30-year-old body.
Sure, you said it. But like, is that something you told yourself going into coaching that like I have to do this, or was that influenced by like a prior coach or somebody else?
So I mean, I think a lot of things I do are influenced by coaches that I've had.
Yeah.
From minor A ball, major ball, up to high school ball to college ball and everything.
Right.
But I think that, man, is just like, it's just the person I am. And, I'm not like that in school because it's like I don't really just care about school as much. Like sports sports is life, man. It's like, everything I do, like, I try to be like a kid about it. So it's like, when you first love a game, like you're a young kid and like you don't really care about all the ins and outs things. Like you just like want to enjoy the game and all that. So like at the end of the day, like when you're playing a sport, like you have to go back to the inner kid of you and just like having that fun and even as a coach, like realizing that. And I think it's just like a cool thing to do. And I think people look at me like sometimes like I'm immature, but I'm also just like I'm trying to relate to the kids as well.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like for me, I do that because I think the biggest thing, like the biggest, like greatest quality I have, I should say, is I'm invested in these kids. Like I'm rooting for the baseball kids, lacrosse kids, softball, field hockey, whatever it is. Like I actually enjoy watching them more. Where I think a lot of people are like,
I love going to games, man.
Like I know you're a big Eagles fan, but like, and I'm a big Orioles fan, but Gunnar Henderson doesn't matter what I do if I buy a ticket or buy a jersey.
Right.
He has no impact.
Right.
But Joe Schmo here,
seeing you at that
if
game,
I doing something, or just seeing me at the game, or like helping them in the off season, or just like talking to them in the hallway, like I'm invested in these kids, and like I enjoy watching them from freshman year to senior, just seeing like, man, that kid has really grown and like really become more mature, has really become like not only a great athlete but a great person and stuff, and just like seeing how they took off. And it's like sometimes obviously it goes different ways. And some people fall off because they get, caught up in their own crowd or something. But it's awesome seeing, man, when kids, because like at the end of the day, we do that for the kids. Like we coach for the kids and stuff. And like you wanted to play when you were a kid. So like just seeing them like, just get better and better every single day. Like it's awesome. Obviously, you probably seen football and stuff. Just like a guy maybe is benching, 125, maybe not the biggest kid, skinny kid. But at the end of that summer, like workouts. He's hitting like 155. Yeah, it's only 30 pounds, but man, that's huge. And like you're just like hyping up. You're just like,
and you can't do any of that, like you said, if you're not high energy. Like you can't like fake that. Like I genuinely, like Anna probably hates it, but I'm always like, hey, there's a girls lacrosse game, like playoff game. When we go watch it. Like there's a softball game. When I just like going to watch it, and like that's I don't care if anybody like sees me there, but like if you walk on the field, like walk by the field, and like a kid sees you, and they're like, hey, we seen you at the game, and then they start asking, like, you coming to the game tonight? I can't make it. They're like, oh, right. I got a kid, like, you coming to my track meet at Bow? And I'm like, no. Sorry, I'm not driving to Bow.
And this year's been tough for me just because coaching 3 sports. Like,
right.
You don't have
busy.
I mean,
literally basketball season ended, and I had 2 days off before softball started.
Basketball season's
like,
a long season.
Oh. So it's like, like I wanted to go see the lacrosse games for soccer kids I coach, some of the girls on the soccer team, like I know like their parents and stuff, but I'm like,
But it's different when you're in
sometimes
season.
man, at the end of the
you
day,
need
man,
that
you're just
day,
beat and like,
Right.
and I don't have a wife to go home to or any kids or anything, but like, still, man, like mentally and like just like my body physically, like you just need a break sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like, you need a day off, and
I'm like even like with Roman though, like man, he went to a bunch of basketball games. I just want him to be like the kid that's like, well, games tonight. Like, let's go, man, let's go watch it.
and I think that'd be different. Like if I had a kid, and they were like, Dad, let's go watch the soccer game. Let's go watch the baseball game.
That'd be the best thing ever.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Yeah,
Come on
let's
now.
go. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go get some mozzarella sticks from Elton Little League. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're doing. I mean, we have Ironbird season tickets,
That's
so
awesome.
we take, me and my wife take Waylon there, and he sits through maybe like 2 innings, 3 innings, but it's like for those 2 or 3 innings when
worth
he's
it,
sitting
man.
on my lap watching the game, like
awesome,
this is it.
Yeah.
This is great
This is stuff.
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
what
bring
it's
him.
about, man.
You gotta bring him to some Rising Sun stuff.
Yeah, I will.
have you guys ever seen or like been to any of those like Savannah Banana games?
No, I haven't.
Dude, they're sick.
We were talking to like campus had a try at
Yeah,
that,
his son, yeah.
and then he was still trying to go to the Barnstormers or the
There was like
Lancaster Barnes.
New York,
there was 3 different independent teams he tried out for.
I say the Manhattan Fairy Hawks or something
Fairy
like that.
Hawks, yeah.
That's a crazy name.
I didn't get it until it was like the Hawks that sit on the fairies. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense than I was thinking. I was thinking some kind of like Pixie Fairy Hawk like combo or something like that. Like, that's not tough at all, man.
You guys want to
I want to play for the old Fairy Hawks.
fairly hot parents here.
Oh boy.
So my buddy that I play with at Kutztown, he's actually like one of the shortstops for Savannah Bananas. Like,
sick.
on like that Globetrotter team.
What's his signature move? Dance move.
So he's like one. I think he has like the most like trick moves. So like he's always want to like will like bounce the ball like through his legs,
Yeah.
and like catch it kind of like a basketball and like go through all that.
Do you see that Cosmic Baseball?
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
I don't know if I could go watch that, but the clips were cool.
Dude, I don't know
mean,
how they play that. Like, as a player, especially
As
when
a
they're
pitcher, I'd be scared.
when
to
they're
death.
hitting, dude, it's all glow in the dark.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
Yeah.
like
I feel like golf you could do it. Like I've seen like some golf.
Yeah,
like,
I've
night
seen the
leagues
night-
where
the
it's
night
like
golf, yeah.
the glow ball.
But I mean, like their whole uniforms are like
But like
the
you
baseball.
also don't have like an 85-mile-an-hour ball coming at you.
exactly,
trying to
dude.
hit
Like
it.
I watched some of the videos and they were like legit players.
I guess
and-
maybe it'd be easier as a pitcher to see that coming back than a normal baseball in the daylight.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what your reaction time is in the dark. You know, even as a hitter, like. I mean, in the daylight,
How much
you're
practice do they
picking
have
up
to
on the
do?
laces and the arm angle and everything, but it's
Yeah.
like if it's dark and you can't see
How much
like,
practice do they have to do to like just like play a successful game and not just being
probably.
like dropping every
a
ball
lot,
that game?
dude, a lot.
And then,
for
and then
sure.
the UV on the ball dies and they can't find the ball.
Right. Yeah.
That was pretty crazy though.
It looked cool. I'm just not sure I'd be very good at
No,
it.
cosmic bowling. That's
Yes,
That's awesome.
Yes,
We can get into that.
You're a bowler, right?
I used to bowl like a good amount. Like I wasn't like
Okay.
I didn't play like any leagues.
For some
or
reason that
anything
popped
like
in my head that you were.
But no, we used to do. So I used to go like Kurt a lot. My buddy Robbie Luff, Mike actually used to go with us too. So I think when like they were seniors,
Okay.
I was in my second year, and this is when I redshirted from baseball. I played soccer a year at Cecil, but like there was a lot of times where I had off.
Yeah.
So like Newark still had the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And Cosmic was on like Tuesday or Wednesdays for like $13. And I would
Cosmic
always
bowling
wait for like
time.
the top like the Cosmic pin so you get like free pizza and a drink or something. But then on like Sunday nights, dude, it was from 9 p.m. to midnight.
Yeah.
It was $8 all unlimited bowling.
Yeah.
And I was
Dang.
like, I'm going every single Sunday. Like this is, I'm like, you can't beat that. Like,
Yeah.
Me and my buddies joined a bowling league.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did that. Yeah,
dude,
That was
bowling's
cool.
sick. I mean,
Talk
it's-
about competition, like and like
Yes.
just being like, come on, man, you need the spare. Like it was fun, and they got the stat sheet and you're handicapped and what you're. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
If I get some time, I want to get back into that. So, all right, you ready? You ready for a
Ready.
little trivia here? Play my music. Bow. All right, hit the heart out, as they
No
would say,
advantage
right?
here.
All right, here we go. You might. Nah, they're tough.
I just hope I get
They're
one so I can
pretty
beat
tough.
Ethan.
I think
Ethan
you-
got 0, right?
I think you'll get one. Ethan did get 0. He's close on a lot of them. All right, here we go. So, during your time at Kutztown, 2015, what was your batting average?
I think I actually know this one.
Campus got all his numbers on the head, and he must look at his stats every day. So let's see if you got it.
I have looked at this one because I would like go back and look up the word. Was it 361?
Close. Very
them.
close.
We always love when people over. Oh no, you oversold yourself. Never mind. You didn't. 354. 354.
Yeah.
354. 0 for 1. All right.
Now, was that the website or Max Preps?
That was the website. That was Kutztown.
Okay.
Now, I do have a Max Preps question because I always have a Max Preps question. So
I don't even
now, but number 2. This is kind of a little highlight to you as well. But when you were selected to the All-East Regional team your senior year, how many high schools were represented in that team? This is an off-the-wall question. I decided to throw this in there.
I went
game
and watched this game.
This is the game right before Brooks Robinson game, right? You're talking about?
I don't know that, but I just found,
You're talking about senior year high school, right?
yeah,
Yes.
I found the article. You got selected. You were the only person from Cecil County.
Yeah.
So,
How many other
I got a
high
story about
schools
that, by the
total?
way.
Yeah, you can tell.
I'm going to go... I think there was 20 guys on our team, so... I'm going to say 14.
25, says the article. It said,
That's
Pat
a
Armour.
really tough question.
I know.
I like it, though.
That was nothing about
Well, I
my
was trying to think because like there was a couple guys from like Severna Park. There was like, a couple guys from like Meade.
It just said you were the
like all
only
these
person
other
from Cecil
schools.
County, and then there was, Elkton was out of 25 teams represented.
Gotcha. So,
you want to tell
real quick before the
Yeah, go ahead.
third one. So, the process of that was like you had to go to like this tryout first. We went to Chesapeake College,
Okay.
and I was the only Cecil County person there. So like Lake Ev got me in there because he was on the committee and everything. And I was like, man, I was nervous. I was like, this is like first time I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't know anybody. All I know is Coach Lake Ev. But he's not really like in my corner. He's not having to catch me or anything like that. Like, hey, I'm on my own. I got to earn this. I'm like talking to some guys, and he was like, this one guy, he's going like Western Carolina. He was like, hey, where are you from? And I was like, Elkton. He was like, is that in Virginia? And I'm like, this is a Maryland thing. I'm like, damn, already being disrespected.
Cecil
And I was
County,
like,
just nobody knows.
I was like, I felt kind of, I was like, disrespectful. But I was like,
gonna show you
they
Elkton
kind of
is.
like
Yeah.
motivated me, like, hey, I'm going to show you from Elkton.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I made the Brooks Robinson game and he didn't. So
Got him.
it was kind of like a cool thing. It was kind of like a,
Yeah, Hess said the
like
same
now
thing.
you know where Elkton's from.
Hess said the same thing when he went to Green Mountain, and he was like, there was other Cecil guys there, and he's like, yeah, we're from Cecil. Probably no one's like, who the hell is Cecil? What is that? Like, oh, all 10,000 of you that live in the whole town, in the whole county? But like, yeah, he was the same way. So, all right, this is a Northeast softball question from Max Preps. How many runs did your team out? I guess I should have rephrased this because bad in would be RBIs. How many runs did your team score this year? Bad in would be RBIs.
I felt like this was going to be one of the questions. I didn't go back and look, but I was like,
It's from the previous
I feel
year.
like
from that little top section.
yeah, I tell you, it's not that much. I'll say that because I know we didn't have the best offensive season.
Question was not meant to shout that out. So sorry.
Yeah,
not
but
meant to
No disrespect in the question.
Thanks for disrespecting softball.
How many runs?
I get it. Rising Sun softball won the second state championship. I get it.
I'll tell you how many we scored. No, I'm kidding. No, sorry. This is not meant
Way
to.
more than you
Just
guys.
underneath that question, parentheses, Rising Sun head.
And how many less did you have than Rasmus?
I'm gonna go.
Gotta get one. Gotta get one. Ty Ethan.
I'm gonna go 63.
Oh, boy. According to Max Preps, 31. Is that wrong? Is that all your games on there?
No, probably not. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank God.
Yeah, no,
All right.
not 31.
I know Max Preps, you have to like have somebody that puts the games on there. All right, good.
Well, how
I
many
don't
games
know
did
that,
you
man.
like? How many games are in the season?
Yeah, how many games did you play?
21 including playoffs.
Okay, totally wrong because your schedule, your record on there is like 3-5-1. So
Yeah.
they're missing a lot of games. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna give you a half.
Well, no wonder nobody can win trivia.
Right.
Let's look at game changing.
I try not to take too many Max Preps because obviously Max Preps is what it is.
I think a lot of baseball and softball use like game changer now. Like Max
yeah,
Preps
you're
is
right.
more of
you're
like
right. You're right.
Yeah, it has you at 3-8-1.
Yeah, so that's not even okay.
no.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
Like also, you could have went to County Sports Zone.
Oh my God, what am I? Yeah, why am I going to Max Preps?
What is
Come
it?
on, bro.
Sorry, County Sports Zone, because I know they follow
You know, I'm just
County
like,
Sports Zone. You look it up. Sorry,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
better
not-
than
you-
31. That was not meant to be disrespectful.
Turns out,
Yeah,
36.
63. Are you sure? 31.
63. You're kind of overselling yourself
Go
here.
down. All right, so before I get to my last couple questions here, we'll shout out our second sponsor because we got two now. One of our I keep saying I got to change that.
Yeah.
Our other sponsor is Design Concepts, your hometown hardscaping professionals. Are you missing out on that genuine quality time spent with your family in the backyard, Matt? What do you think about that? Are you missing out on that? Or you just
all
like
the
don't
time.
have your ideal area?
My family,
you know?
I don't have to think.
Or is it a simple open space on your? It's a simple open space that just needs a
Absolutely.
professional touch.
That's
There
what
it
it
is. If any of that sounds familiar to you, be sure to reach out to your local design and build professionals at Design Concepts. Their team will create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. They have over 23 years of expert experience in the hardscaping industry. Whether you need a paver patio, a retaining wall, outdoor kitchen, fireplace, pool deck, the list goes on. The main focus is to fulfill their clients' expectations by bringing joy and satisfaction from their projects that can last a lifetime. Reach out to Dave at 410-920-5355 and find them on Facebook at Design Concepts or contact them via email at designconceptsmd@gmail.com.
So you were 5-13, according to
So
the county
yeah,
sports
so I think
zone.
we ended up going. So I don't think they had the. Did they have the Caravel game and like the second bow game on there, or the first bow game?
I
think we ended up being like 6 and
you
15,
guys
I
apparently
think.
played Red Lion, but they did not put a result in for that.
That was just a scrimmage that game. So
So what games were you
the
asking me?
first game should have been
Your first game was
Sam
against
Wright.
CM Wright.
Yeah, and then after that, I think we would have played Caravel, which we lost 10-0. But hey, they just won the state championship 4 years in a row.
They're pretty good.
And then we would have played Bow Manor. We actually beat them 4-1. But I don't know if it's on there or not.
Yeah,
Caravel,
so
Caravel.
it has
Rising
Sam Wright,
Sun beat
lost,
Caravel.
then you played Perryville, you won.
8-2, yeah.
Then you played Rising
Great,
Sun, you lost. Caravel, you lost. Bow
We don't need
Manor,
to
you
go
won.
through all the.
I know.
Relax, dude.
I could probably go through like that Sean McVay memory.
I was just gonna say Caravel.
I couldn't almost, go
Looking
through
at
these
the
games.
numbers, though, you're
well
without
over
doing the
31.
actual math, you're probably pretty close with 61.
All right. We'll
0.5. I beat you.
We decided
I
we're
think
not.
you gave half a point to everybody
Yeah,
else.
we decided we actually took that half point away from who was it? Who did we get a half point to? Anthony.
Yeah,
Anthony. He went 2 for 3. There is no half points. We've decided on that. All right. Anyway, so this is a big question I wanted to kind of hear about because I've talked to other people about it, but like as a male coach coaching female sports, and especially since the energy that you've talked about and like just like hard nosed about your basketball, like what's the biggest challenge you face during a season being that male passionate coach coaching females? And nothing against obviously female because there's
No.
there's uber female competitors.
Yeah.
But like it's a high school, teenager.
It's tough, man. I'll say that. It's I mean, it's not always easy coaching boys either. I mean, there's definitely
Yeah, of
differentiation between both.
yeah.
I think if you don't have the same passion out of the girls that I have, then it makes it a little tougher. Where I feel like you look at Paul Taylor and is it Mike McBride, right?
McBride, yep.
Like you look at them, like they're not like high strung guys like
Right.
me and Stu are like kind of like trying to get our. And those girls just go out there and like they just have it because like they're softball like 24/7.
Yeah.
So like it's tough sometimes. Like we have some really good athletes, man. We have some really good players. We have some like really good kids, but sometimes it's hard to like pull that like that energy out and that passion. It's
Right.
like
And
and you can't create that for them. You can't do that for them.
And I only asked this question because I think of myself, like Kathy asked me to coach JV girls basketball. I'm like, first of all, I don't know anything about basketball, and I may make someone cry. Like,
Right.
I am hard nosed, but like that's just me because I'm football though.
I've been there before.
And it's just like I don't, I just like to hear how like other people's strategies about how to do it.
I think the biggest thing is probably how you voice stuff.
Sure,
Right.
So I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still trying to get,
because you're not a high school teenager female.
Exactly. I'm still trying to learn different stuff. So like the things that I say sometimes, and like I said, this was a very tough year. and just like maybe like the way I say things and like maybe the way like I handle situation or something. Like I got like that's why I said like that reflection, like just like looking back and with like a boy, like you kind of like, dude, like what are you doing right now? Yeah, like come on, like you try to like
you have
like,
to try to tap into another perspective. You don't know.
You gut check them, and you're like I need you to let's go. I need you to work hard, man. Like with the girls, sometimes you gotta read the situation. Like
that's it.
They have a bad day.
Like you said it perfectly. Like they're a teenage female. Like their day,
every single day is a different emotion. Really.
Right. Exactly. Like guys. When you're teenagers, you got one thing on the mind, and
girls, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, like, but if something happened, like a teenage boy can just drop it and move on like that. Like a girl's gonna hold on to it, so like by the time they get to practice, like they're probably in not a great mood. So you have to like it's got to be tough to find.
Yeah,
And
I will say this though.
And just disclaimer: we are not trying to shout at you. This is a different topic than we're normally doing.
No, for sure.
Any females listening?
I want to preface this by saying I know nothing. I know nothing.
If we lose a bunch of female viewership from this, I'm sorry, and I didn't mean it that way.
I'm just imagining that their days are a lot tougher. I don't know, dude. I'm done.
Just finish up. Keep going.
And I will say it's it's been kind of unique for me because I have coached boys and girls, so like and like at different times in my life as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, I coached Caroline Roberts and Katie Roberts, Matt, and both of them two had different like identities about them and stuff. And like, Caroline, you could coach a little bit harder than Katie and stuff, and like, but they were both just as athletically gifted. Like they both worked hard. They were both great kids. But it's like sometimes you can push somebody a little bit more. And like with Caroline a lot, like she was just like I think just like a natural born leader. So like you didn't even have to like tell her anything.
Right. She
was that girl that was gonna get on her teammates about, making sure doing the right thing and like making sure the energy's up and everything. And it's like, you love having those kind of players because it makes your job easier and you don't have to do the dirty work. Like you don't have to do like the hard job of like, are they having a bad day or not? Like, am I able to yell at them? Like if they mess up, like, hey, like, nope, she's already done it for me.
Yeah.
Like it makes it easy where it's like, and other times like, and I think now it's like the social media thing.
Right.
Like kids are afraid to yell at each other. So like for me, like this maybe not be the best thing, but like I don't usually traditionally have captains because like I look at a captain like Tim Tebow. Like Tim Tebow will run through a wall for anybody. Yeah. Tim Tebow will get in anybody's face. He will work harder than anybody. You don't really have that in high school nowadays. You don't have those like those attributes about somebody like those
most of your
about
captains
somebody
are lead by example captains.
Exactly. Yeah. And are the hardest workers or
and then you get the I hate putting it, but like the captains that they think they just need to yell at everybody. Yeah. But that's not what captains do.
And that's not what I want you to do.
Like Joe was our captain at Wesley, like guy didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Like but he just went out there and did his thing.
Just leads by example.
Yeah, but like if Joe, you're listening, like he would say it too, like not a great captain, right? Because like wasn't like rallying the troops, but he just did it himself, which led other people to do it behind him. But you're right though, like there's a lot of things that are going to be like the prototypical captain.
And I take it serious as a coach. Like I don't just like
throw people out there because they're the popular.
Not just make it like a senior or something. Like like most of the times it is seniors because if they want it, like, and they're earning it, like they put that time in, like they invested their time into that program, then yeah, absolutely, that's great. But like, if a freshman is stepping up and doing the right things, like, hey, you might be the captain. Like,
I mean, we had a kid last year that like did everything right, but like just kind of took a step back, and we actually had a conversation about this just a few weeks ago. Well out of football season, and then like. Didn't have a great camp, and it was like kind of just wasn't always in the right place, so he didn't end up being a captain. Later in the year, it was just like, all right, the dude's proven he's time to be a captain. We just added him, because it was like he's done everything right. Now he's proven himself on the field. So really, if you could, and we do it once a week where we have 3 main captains or 4 sometimes, and we throw a fifth in there, like whoever's working hard that week and stuff like that. So. Yeah, I mean, it's tough to choose them. I think
different sports, too, like the amount of captains is, like football, like how many guys do you have on your team?
This year we'll probably have a little over 30. Like,
So I
not
mean,
that
like
many.
4 or 5, like
Yeah.
it's still a small sample
Sure,
of like team.
sure.
Or if you have 5 captains for softball,
Right.
and I only have 9, 10 players, like,
That's
is it
too much,
really
yeah.
important being a captain? Like, it's just every other
Right.
player.
Yeah, you
So
you toss a coin. Yeah.
exactly. So it's just different. So it's like, to me, like, it's an honor being a captain. Like, and I don't take it lightly. And like I said, usually it's the kids that don't expect being like they're a captain, or the kids that think like, oh, they don't have any, like, he's not going to pick me. Like, no, like, I think you do the right things. Like, you come out, like, you do good in school. You're a leader in school. You don't cause any troubles.
Yeah.
You know, you come out to the field every single day. You're on time. You're looking to get equipment. You know, and I hate the whole thing. Like, and I know we did it in school. Like, oh, seniors don't get anything. Freshmen, you get everything. And like, it still might be that way for some things.
We
But
just
for
took
me,
the water.
But for me, like, I think everybody should be doing everything.
Sure,
Like, it's just like, I think that's how you create that culture of like,
Yep.
like nobody is more important than the next person.
Right.
Yeah,
And,
that's a
like,
good point. It's a great
And
point.
everybody, and like, sometimes it's not always like that. I mean, sometimes the kids don't always see that, and they're like, ah, well, he yelled at me about getting this, you know, about not getting this, but why didn't you get on that person?
Sure,
It's
sure,
like,
sure.
Right.
Freshmen
then
get
it's, like,
freshmen
tough
get
and
the
stuff.
water in the med kit for us. That's it. We don't make anybody carry anybody's pads or like
Yeah,
do any- like
right.
do
Which
anything
isn't a
like
hard
that.
thing. I mean,
No. Now we're getting this nice shed in our field finally, so we can not have to carry everything.
it's awesome. Yeah,
normally
we just
that-
got one, or
Yeah.
I guess we're splitting with the corollary sports
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
like through like Special
Yeah,
Olympics, but
yep.
like, dude, like like our only closet besides that was the girls' locker room inside.
Well, let me tell you, since they changed our old practice football field into half the Parks and Rec parking lot, as the head coach and the other assistant coach the other year, I would back my truck up to the field house, load my truck up, drive around the school, park it, we would load it back up. That is not what a head coach should be doing, but it was like, what am I going to do? Have this kid carry this 200-pound heavy bag from the
Yeah.
field house to our field on the other side of the school?
All right.
Like, I'm not doing that. So, but now we got a nice shed. So
There you
let's
go.
Not yet, but.
Side note, it was 68. I did the math.
All right.
So,
So,
you're really close.
but you still didn't get it, so. Close,
I was
though.
actually going to say
Way better than 31. All right, so, here we go. Final
Hey,
question.
I undersold us there. So
There you go. There you
we
go.
did
There you
better
go.
than what I thought. So
Last question, and you've talked about a lot, just about you being a competitor, but our weekly question, what does competition mean to you?
this is a tough one, man. Cause I knew this was going to be asked, like, even before, like, sending, like,
Yeah.
everything like that. Just hearing everybody's every single week,
All right.
and I'm like, it's tough, man, because like it could go so many different ways.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm glad nobody ever asked me because it would be really hard to put it into words besides just like,
I
just
guess
wanna
to
win.
me it's just like competing, you know, against somebody or something, trying to win every single time.
I think, like you just said, what I was just going to say, I think what Kathy said was literally probably
she
what
just
I would
said, like,
say.
compete.
Like I need to win.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you label something as a competition,
Right.
I want to win.
Right.
Yep.
Like, and you talked about that, so keep
like
going.
it
I'm sorry.
doesn't, and like, you know, we both played on like Joppatown in baseball. And, you know, back when we played, like, the game was probably going to be like a 15-0 game or 20-0. Like, it was going to be like
Right.
not that big of a competition. But then I have like basketball this year. I'm coaching and we're playing Joppatown. And the first time we played them at home early on, you know, they're kind of still young and getting into things, and like we're competing with them in the first quarter.
Yeah.
They ended up blowing us out. But we played them the second time. We're down 21-0. And you know, to start off the game, and I'm like, that's a lot of competition right there. I was like, so like, you know, then you have to figure out some things through that. So like, you know, just, you gotta just competing, man, in any single way. And like, I know Aaron Roussel talked about like, you know, even just like Uno cards or something like that. Dude,
Right.
I used to play Chinese checkers against my great grandmother,
Yeah.
and she would cheat sometimes and like try to like make this move, and I'd be like, no, I'm like, you gotta go back. And it's just like you think about it, like, man, like she's 98, 99. I'm like, I don't care. I'm winning this game.
But she's playing. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
she
did the
knows
same
what she's doing.
I
Like,
did the same
don't
thing.
let
My great grandmother too.
her- like,
I stole all her quarters and cards.
I know what she's doing. She's not gonna play me like a fool. So
All right.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, just finding, like we always say, just gotta find a way to win.
I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. minus cheating. That
Minus
hard,
cheating.
But yeah, find some kind of way. I mean, like we talked about with our friends group, it's not fun sometimes.
No.
Not a lot of people like being on my team, my wife included.
Yeah.
I remember you talked about like you were like a hometown like. So I'm taking things from like other
You're good.
podcasts and stuff, but like, I know Kathy talked about like being like her kids wouldn't like her in gym class because like she was like like I'm like sweating like after and stuff, and you're like I wanted to win every single time, dude. I used to have heart-to-hearts with one of the PE teachers because she was like, Matt, listen, like I know you really love the game, I know you're trying to win every single time, but this other kid, they may just be trying to get a 90 or 100 for participation. I'm like, I know Miss Ang, but why are they not trying to win? Like I'm going for my 12th championship right now. What are they doing? Like,
dude, our freaking PE class was
Dude,
like all of our friends group, and you'd have like this group of people sitting on the bleachers talking, this group of people just like kind of shooting a basketball, and then you'd have us either playing intense Foursquare or intense Polish ping pong. And just be like, just all class long, just going hard.
What is the PE class that's like pretty much just games?
Lifetime activities?
Lifetime activities. Yeah. We used to have, so when I was at Elkton, I don't know if this was when you guys were in school, the 5 blocks?
We had 7 when we started, and we moved to 4. I think we were 4 by the end of our...
Oh, periods?
Yeah.
Periods? Yeah, I think we were 4 by senior year.
Because we were 7 when we started.
Right.
Yeah,
never had 5, though?
I don't think so.
So we had, like, it was like an hour first block, like an hour second block, or like an hour and like 15 for both.
Yeah.
Third block was only like 47 minutes.
Okay.
And that was the lifetime activities class. So it was like, as soon as that bell rang, everybody got in, got dressed, and came back out.
Get the
dude,
balls
we were starting the game within 8 minutes, dude, and it was just like, how much am I going to sweat today? I'm going hard.
Right.
Like, kids are like, man. Dude, Matt, relax. And I'm like, no, like, why am I going to relax?
We would turn the dumbest things into just full
like, this is what I love, dude.
We made everybody sit down in the aux gym and watch us play 2v2 aux gym basketball, which was the pull-up bars as the rims, but it was dunks only.
That was sick.
And you're just slamming into concrete walls, like you're going up and you're just getting shoved into the pull-up bar, and just everyone's watching. And we're like, can we work? Like, sit down.
Barkley let us play that full contact where you put the bowling pins up on the bleachers and you have to hit them.
But he didn't let us play. We decided when the ball, because normally when the ball hits the ground, it's a turnover.
Right.
When the ball hit the ground, it was live.
It was scramble.
It was a full rugby scrum. Like getting up, like squaring up. It was like play on.
Is it like pin dodgeball or?
It's like ultimate. It's like handball, but you have to knock. Like we had the high bleachers. Where you had to knock the pins off the bleachers. Basically, you pass. You can only get 3 steps. Like we still play.
It was only one ball at a time.
Yeah, and it was just live on the ground.
As soon as it hit the ground, it was like dog piles.
So like when I was subbing back in the day, like at Elkton, we played like pin dodgeball.
Okay.
And like
behind you, the pins,
Like so, Elkton's now with the new gym. Like stands only go up like 5 or 6
cents. Right. We have the nice high bleachers,
but it's just like pins all the way down on both sides of the court, and you're just throwing some. Dude, there was one time I was subbing for somebody in the gym, and I got nailed right in the nose, dude. And I started bleeding for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, one of these kids is targeting me right now. Like, I don't appreciate it. But I love them compete now.
Yeah, I mean, the kids, we were playing ping pong today, and I was getting my butt whooped, and I'm literally like throwing the paddle, and they're like, salty? I'm like, yes. I lost.
Now, how are your kids like? Because I mean, you're in physical education as well right now. How are your kids like, especially the athletes, like in gym class or PE class, whatever?
They just want to do one thing. They don't lift. It's terrible.
Dude,
just not motivated.
I feel like when we were there, like we wanted to like play stuff. Like now, like they don't care anymore. Dude. And if it's not like basketball, they don't.
So I have a group of kids that loves playing pickleball. They go really hard. I let them play pickleball. You got obviously your volleyball players. You got your basketball players. But like the freshmen, I have a lot of freshman classes. You can throw any game at them, and they're like, brand new, let's go.
Right.
But then you get your older groups, and I got like a strength and conditioning class where I probably got 7 football players in there. They don't lift. I'm like, they're like, we lift at home, and I'm like, this is a strength and conditioning class, man. Take something else. Like that's not a good enough excuse, man. Like it's like you said, it's hard.
And I remember
the motivation
like
is
when
hard,
I subbed
man.
and stuff for them, they'd be like, Yeah, but I just lifted with my dad last night, though. Like, okay, that's fine. Well, you're going to be lifting with me today, or you're not getting your
Oh,
grade.
my goodness. Talk about motivation. We had the talk at the middle school, talk to the 8th graders for fall sports, and I had 13 football players out of the entire 8th grade come over and talk to me. And Johnny Hartnett, came over and was like, give me some extra papers. There's guys, acting too cool to come over, and I'm like, too cool to come to the football meeting? Does that make you look weird? What's going on, man? I'm like, we are not trending in the right direction right now. So
If you're too cool to go to my meeting, I don't think you should be
too
coming
cool to go
showing
to the
up in
football
August.
meeting. I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. So,
Right.
man, it's 2024, baby. You still got your grinders, and you still got the kids you got to get into. So, hey, man, this was a good one, and we finally got Northeast on here. We appreciate you being on here. What'd you
Appreciate
think?
you guys having. It was awesome, man.
Since you got to watch you are a loyal watcher. How's it being on?
It's awesome, man. Like it's hearing the different perspectives of every coach and stuff, and everybody has their different journey and different story, and how they create their different cultures and everything. So it's just cool. I was I remember I haven't seen Hess's video yet, but I saw I watched Joe's and stuff. I thought that was a cool one to watch. I still have one or two more. I think the only ones I haven't watched was Hess and Trayvon.
And Hess is just Spotify, but Tremo's on there, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen Trayvon. I mean, I don't know him as well though.
Right.
But Hess is I would and stuff. So, but I know Trayvon. Did he coach you on track? You
Yeah, that's a great one. I would listen
I
to
know
his
who he
talk
is.
about culture.
I know. I've
yeah.
seen him before, but I don't know him.
In
But
regards to culture, that's a great one.
so
yeah.
just seeing just hearing them talk and stuff, especially Joe, and then moving on to Rossi and stuff, somebody I've known my whole life, and then Ethan, somebody I've coached with who, he came and coached with me his first year coming up to Cecil County, and him and Curtis Buckland and stuff. So it's kind of cool, seeing those guys talking. I'm like, all right, it's not that I don't need to be nervous anymore. It's just cool, hanging with you guys, just cool talking to and stuff, and like you said. Nobody's trying to bring anything negative here. We're just trying to share positive stories. We're just trying to share our perspectives and stuff, and how we go about different situations and stuff. And like I said, I think cool. Kathy being the first female on here and stuff, and obviously different view of being a Hall of Famer when she played at Bloomsburg to now coaching. She's been pretty successful in all of her years coaching. So it's just cool seeing all these different.
That's been my. I mean, I Shane probably say the same thing. That's our favorite part. Is just to get to hear it. You obviously know they're doing a good job. We know you're doing a good job,
Right.
And we know everybody that we've had on has success. But it's what has led you to that
Exactly.
And you don't know their story about their journey. I didn't know you were a dandelion picker back then.
No, I wasn't.
No, but
There was this guy, Don Maspiano, who used to play with me. I think he was.
dude,
I was the guy that was hitting balls past him.
I got out quick. Because it was not fun and I sucked. So.
But I mean, even you as a coach and stuff, even though you're hosting the show, just giving your perspective, and even though Shane hasn't coached yet, high school, especially with us, doesn't mean that one day you're not going to coach. But also
a lot of good things here.
But you've had the perspective of playing and stuff, so you have those different things of seeing stuff. So
Got all the aspects covered on here.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool and stuff. And like you said, getting different sports and stuff and different coaches and different backgrounds and everything. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I tell you, I've learned more about basketball than I ever thought I would. So
He didn't know what a free throw was or a field goal when we first started.
Yeah,
so
field goal.
We're moving on, baby.
I was never a basketball guy, but here I am.
Three. What is it? It is a three.
They're like,
Oh, it is a three, yeah. All right, so
Cool.
great episode.
Yep.
Shane, got anything else?
I got nothing, man. Thank you for coming on, buddy. I really appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
Yeah,
you guys
man,
having me. It's been
yeah.
a great time.
Be sure to check us out on YouTube. I keep wanting to say this episode's going to drop. Well, you're hearing it when it drops.
Right.
But yeah, we got some good ones coming up, and yeah, just keep sharing us with people that that haven't watched us yet.
Yep, we're 20 subscribers away from 100 subscribers on YouTube. So
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you haven't subscribed, please, it takes 10 seconds to make an account.
Click. There it is. It's done.
Click.
That's all you got there.
And that little tap on the bell button or the
Yep.
follow button on Spotify. Oh
Yep.
my gosh.
So easy.
We've
So
got
easy.
800 listens.
Bing.
Or I think we're up to 8 something, 50 or something, and 100 followers. What are you guys doing out there?
It's so easy.
But we love you. Thanks for
Yep.
listening. All right, guys. Peace.
Later.
Deuces.